There we go. We are now recording.
Excellent.
Here lately, I've been doing like a minute or two of nonsense to fill for the YouTube people, but given that it's just chatting, not really a point, is there?
Mm, I don't know. Hey, Dirk, what should we do tonight?
Same thing we do every night, Pinky.
Just chatting?
Just chatting.
I am that worked out exactly the way I thought it was going to in my head. I love you, Dirk.
Be be dorks and chat. Yes,
That's right.
We don't do it every night. That implies that I'm calling you up every night. You know, laying on my bed, my feet in the air, and just kind of like chilling with my
What
best
you
girl, Dirk.
doing?
Yeah.
Hey, girlfriend.
Hey, did you see Bobby today? Oh my gosh.
I hate that guy. What?
So we're recording now, right? So
Yeah.
I'm Brian. I'm the tangent
No,
master guy.
No, not yet. We're still
No?
filling.
Oh, we're still filling.
Well, okay,
Like,
now I guess we can. Yeah. So, hello, welcome to the Manapool. We're doing a just chatting because Mike isn't here, and we don't want to do regular topics without one of the dorks. So
true.
I'm Chewy. Hello.
I'm
And I
Brian.
have all these other
Hey,
dorks.
I'm still Brian. Hey.
Are you though?
Sometimes he is.
Oh,
And I'm
okay.
Dirk, the self-proclaimed greenest man alive and moral compass of the group.
Are you though?
All I have to say is, I like big butts, and I cannot lie.
Are you like George Washington?
What?
Because he could do at least one of those things.
Oh my god.
And for all we know, he really, really liked big butts.
Well, you other brothers can't deny.
All right, I'm just gonna stop you there before you actually continue. So,
Yeah, because I actually don't know the rest of the lyrics.
I know.
That's why I was like, maybe if someone will pick up. Nope, never mind.
Who doesn't like big butts? Chat says there are people out there that don't like big butts. We call them weird. Or Brian dies in their
That's true.
general direction.
I'm just having some of the last minute coughs.
So how do
And
how do we sound their chat? Let's see. So, since Mike's not here, we're just doing nonsense. Brian, you started something in the pre-show thing,
I did.
and then I was
I
like,
did.
"Should this be on the show? Shut up."
Yeah.
So, what were
So-
you gonna do?
So, and this is for you guys, and hey, chat, if you want to chime in, most of the people that know us for Magic, a collectible card game.
Lame.
Don't play that a whole lot anymore. Although, as a side note, there's another defense attorney who I was in the lawyer's lounge waiting on a case to be called. So I wasn't in the courtroom, and he was like, he came up to me, we were discussing something, and he saw my phone. I had Arena, and he apparently started playing like 2 months ago, and he loves it. He's like all in. Like he saw me again today, and he's like, I am gonna have to not buy the latest secret drop because my wallet can't take it. And I'm like, how much have you?
That's
No,
a
wait,
Magic
don't tell
player.
me because. Well, yeah, because everybody had that experience when you're getting started. You're like, oh my God, this is great. He swears he's going to get me, quote unquote, out of retirement. And I'm like, I wouldn't mind playing Paper Magic. As I'm sitting here talking to you guys, I'm looking at my collection across the office. I'm looking at all the cards I've never organized. And yeah. But, so some of you may have heard, some of you may not have, about Ravensburger's product, Disney Lorcana. It is, I don't want to say Magic for Disney or Disney Magic, but it's a collectible card game, and it's very similar because it turns out most games are like Magic because it was kind of a prototypical system. But you have the first set had three card types. You had characters, items, and actions. And then some of those actions were also songs because one of the things that Disney is known for is songs. And then in the third set, they added a fourth card type, locations. I enjoy it. I played, I don't want to say competitively, but I went to a couple tournaments as the game was getting started. But part of the issues, one of the issues they had was scarcity. And you had very little product. They seriously underestimated the demand. And people would go in when there was a restocking in Walmart, assholes. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna say it, assholes. And they would post on like Reddit or whatever. Carrie found on Facebook somebody was like, "Look, I bought 52 packs at Walmart, and I'm gonna like sell them on eBay for like a 30% increase." And somebody, thank God for this person, had responded to that thread and said, "You're the reason I can't enjoy this game with my family. Thank you so much." So luckily
Yeah.
they were able to get past that, starting with some reprinting, and I haven't really heard about any scarcity issues.
It's one thing to do the dick move. It's another thing to brag about doing the dick move.
Yeah, just look, and to clearly not have any interest in the game itself or whatever. And, hey, if people collect, people invest, all that sort of stuff, but this is basically scalping, is what it is.
No, it is scalping.
It is scalping. Sorry, got my water right here. So, game's been out for 2 years now. Hard to imagine that, but it's really fun. And even if Carrie and I don't buy a whole lot, every set has two pre-constructed decks, and we always buy those and play those. And then once a year, with a tie-in to one of the sets, they put out a product that is essentially it's a box set. Um, it's you versus the computer sort of thing. The first one is against Ursula, and the second one from earlier this year is from Jafar, is against Jafar, and they're really great. It's kind of like I know Magic has done some things like this. It's kind of like Arch Enemy a little bit, but um, the the enemy deck is kind of on autopilot. There's rules about how it's run, but you don't really have to make choices for it. They designed the game with this kind of in mind, and Carrie loves it. Carrie will tell you she would much rather play cooperatively. Sometimes I get frustrated by that because, in at least in a one-on-one, somebody wins. It may not always feel great. There are times where you're playing again in a cooperative game and it feels like you're hitting your head against the wall and you're like, ah. So, what I've been leading up to this whole time is that this weekend I'm going to try to go to a pre-release for the next set, Whispers in the Well. Every set can contain um characters from any Disney property. They tend to like introduce them a little bit at a time. So like there was a set that had the first characters from was the first set to have characters from DuckTales, and then since then they've been in a couple more sets. This is the first set to have characters from the Black Cauldron, which is
Nah.
kind of a deep cut. But I actually read those books as a kid that the Black Cauldron is based on, and it has characters from Gargoyles. And I'm like, all right,
Ooh.
here's all my money. You've got me. If this set had Darkwing Duck, I'd probably just be broke now. And I'm waiting. Like half the community is waiting for them to bite the bullet and go Kingdom Hearts, and that'll just be the end. There won't be any other card games at that point. It'll just be this one. But I'm looking forward to it. The gargoyles are pretty cool. All the gargoyles have a one of the first actual drawback abilities. Not many things in Lorcana have drawbacks. It's mostly just is this a good stat line or not? Is this a good ability or not? There are some that have drawbacks, but every gargoyle has a stone by day effect that if you have over three cards in your hand at the start of your turn, it basically doesn't untap because it's stone. Um, and the Demona card looks
Oh.
amazing, and I'm just so I didn't know if either of you have tried it. If you ever want to try it while you're over at my house, again we've got all the starter decks, so just let me know. If you know how to play Magic, you know how to play Lorcana. Every character, in addition to a power and toughness, also has a lore count with little pips on the side of it. Most characters will have between one and two. and then during your turn, it's a bit like Hearthstone. You don't have instants. You don't have things you can really do during an opponent's turn. It may be that there are choices you have to make during the opponent's turn due to an effect, but you don't play cards during their turn. But once you've played a character and once it's been out for a turn, not summoning sick, you can either use it to challenge an opposing character, and most of the time, the character that you are challenging must already be tapped to do that, or exerted. I'm sorry, because Magic actually apparently has tapped copyrighted or trademarked. As an attorney, I should know the difference, but whatever.
You're not that kind of attorney.
But the main no, not at all. But the main way you win is you get to 20 lore, and the way you get to 20 lore is instead of challenging, you quote unquote quest with that character, and you add an amount of lore equal to the number of pips it's got. So it's really interesting because the most aggro decks are actually very small creatures that have disproportionately high lore values. So you're not racing to like destroy the opponent's creatures at all. You're basically trying to ignore them to a certain extent. And it creates a lot of tension. You can, if you're questing a whole lot, because you're then exerting them to quest, you're opening them up to being challenged, right? But, or do you build up a whole big board to try to quest out in like 1 or 2 turns? So, that's my little spiel. Neither of you have tried it yet, have you?
Nope.
Okay. Always welcome to try it. And I just wanted to point out again the deliciousness that is gargoyles, because I've always been a big fan. Maybe 3 years ago, I tried to get Sam into it on Disney Plus, and we made it like 3 episodes in, and she's like, "Can we watch something else?" I'm like, "Yes." She's like, "Can we watch Carmen Sandiego for like the 4th time?" I'm like, "Yes." At least she likes it. The new Carmen Sandiego is pretty awesome, I'll admit. But she's seen the Netflix Carmen Sandiego all the way through twice, and she has seen the 2017 DuckTales through all the way twice, and then wanted to restart it. And Carrie was like, "Can we please watch something else?" I think she gets that from me. When I find something that I like. Carrie's always laughing at me because I never read new books because I reread the same books, my favorite books, a million times. But I haven't seen anybody in chat mention it, so I don't know if anybody has played Lorcana, but Gargoyles, yay.
Yay.
That was my whole thing for that.
Fair enough.
Has anybody else?
I started a new game.
I was literally going to ask, has anybody else tried a new game lately? So, Chewy, what new game have you tried lately?
It's called Tales and Tactics. And it's a okay, you guys know, I'm trying to gauge your knowledge level here. Do you know Slay the Spire?
Yes.
Yes. Never played it, but you've talked about it quite a bit, and I've picked up on a lot of it, I think.
Okay, so the way Slay the Spire works is you've got it's a roguelike deck builder, and you're building your deck, but you've got combat encounters, and in between those you've got events where you can get the perks, well, not perks, and what are they called in Slay the Spire? You can get cards or change cards in your deck or remove cards from your deck or get new relics or whatever, just things to add some randomness in to your run. And it's awesome. Everybody loves Slay the Spire, blah blah blah. Tales and Tactics is by what's the, let me get this right. Here we go. Store
Developers
is by Table 9 Studio. And if you've never heard of them, that makes sense, but if you play Slay the Spire, you will be happy to know they're the group behind the Slay the Spire Downfall mod, which is massively loved and acclaimed and all of that. Like it's a fan made mod, but it is apparently really good. And they made their own game called Tales and Tactics, which is it does the Slay the Spire thing with the combat and story events and whatnot, but it's not a roguelike deck builder. It's a single player auto battler. And man, I've forgotten how much I missed auto battlers. I started with the first one way back, Auto Chess, which was a mod for Dota? I think? Yeah. And then auto battlers became the thing. Like that thing that everyone plays in Hearthstone now that isn't Hearthstone, what's it called?
Battlegrounds?
That's the one. Yeah, that's an auto battler. Like that is playing off of the auto chess craze. The other big one is Teamfight Tactics, which was in League of Legends. I assume it's still going. It was massive. I haven't paid attention in a few years. My favorite one was Dota Underlords, and then one day in 2020, Valve just decided we're done updating this, and it's stagnated. I don't know why, but it was my favorite. I've got, let's see here, library, sort by hours played. I've got 275 hours in Dota Underlords. A bunch of that was with the community. Not like a huge percentage, but we would have Underlords nights where a bunch of us would all hop in a lobby and play and swear at each other. And it was great. But yeah, it's a single player auto battler. And for those that don't know, an auto battler is... Okay, so they're units. Different characters. And they each... All of the fighting is done automatically, thus the name Auto Battler. And
Makes sense.
they all have an attack range and some sort of ability that they do whenever they get enough mana. Mana is generated automatically as you attack. And, you know, the abilities do whatever. You know, you've got healers and tanks and attackers, blah, 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 blah. But there are also traits. In Tales and Tactics, they're called traits. Forgive me, I cannot remember what any of the proper words are in Underlords or Teamfight Tactics because I haven't played either of them in damn near 5 years. But the different traits, each character has like 2 or 3 traits. And if you get enough of them on the field, that activates the trait. Like in Tales and Tactics, let's say you get 2 marksmen. If you have 2 marksmen, then you get the training dummy who shows up on your battlefield as essentially a wall for enemies to hit. And your marksmen all do more damage to enemies that are further away.
Okay.
So it's a buff. If you've got 2... Oh, God, they were called assassins in Underlords. What are they called? Stalkers. Then if you get 2 stalkers on your team, you activate the stalker trait. And at the beginning of combat, they disappear, teleport to your enemy's back line, and start smashing them. So, yeah. And you have a shop that pops up at the bottom of the screen that shows you items, and you can re-roll it. And when you get 3 of one unit, then they all combine and level up. So now you've got a tier 2 unit, and usually that gets them more health, more attack, more armor, more whatever. You know, makes
more
them better.
Yeah.
And yeah, the object is to assemble a team by, re-rolling the shop and using whatever sort of abilities and stuff you can get to assemble a team that makes sense. Like my very first win, I had 4 engineers and 4 beasts, which, since my team maxed out at 6, that means I had to do some shenanigans. But when you have 2 engineers, you get a turret that's off the board. It's not part of the battlefield. It's just sitting over there, and it gets a certain amount of ammo and a certain amount of attack power from having 2 engineers. It's based on the level of your engineers.
Right.
And it just shoots enemy units. And every time one of your engineers casts, uses their ability, it gets some extra ammo. So when you have 4 engineers, it becomes a super turret. It starts with way more ammo, and every so often, what it shoots does splash damage. So I had 4 engineers, so I had a turret over there that was just brrrr. It was insane. And then beasts, when something dies, all of your units get extra attack speed, so they swing faster, which means they get mana faster, which means they cast faster, and your beasts get double that bonus. And then with 4 beasts, when it's called frenzy. When they frenzy, their next attack is a huge chunk of damage and a small heal. So it adds more damage and a survivability. And so yeah, my first win was with that, and it felt pretty good.
Nice.
But yeah, because it's single player, you don't have to deal with people. You don't have to worry about screwing up or any of that, because it's a single player game. There is multiplayer in it, but I haven't messed with that because I'm still learning everything. But yeah, I do recommend it if anyone that played Auto Battlers back in the day still has that itch.
You
it's
told us the name at the beginning. But
Tales
what is
and
it again?
Tactics.
Okay.
It's still getting updated. Like it's still actively being updated. There was an update just the 16th, so just last month, and it just came out. When did this come out? Last year? Store page, yeah, August 2024. So, but yeah, if you play Slay the Spire, you'll recognize the overall setup of a run immediately. And you pick different characters to play as, and each one has different traits. Like I was playing earlier today, I had the gnome guy who, once you have a tier 2 trait active, all of your units get extra mana regen, so they can cast more frequently. Stuff like that. Like I'm still unlocking stuff. I'm like barely halfway through unlocking all of the stuff there is to unlock before you can have everything. But if you miss the auto battler thing and you don't like dealing with League of Legends and having to play Teamfight Tactics, then maybe give it a go. It's got items, and it's on a hex grid, which annoys me. That the item thing always drove me up the wall about Teamfight Tactics. Like that was one too many things for me to have to learn, especially in a multiplayer game where everything's timed. I don't have time to study things. Like, I don't know, what does this do? When you've got a minute to roll the shop and try to find stuff, I don't have a minute to be sitting there reading item descriptions going, okay, so if I combine this with the shield, then it does this. Does that go good on any of my characters? Oh, the next round started. Piss.
Mm-hmm.
Which it just takes time to learn stuff, but I was still bitter about Underlords no longer being updated, so yeah. I really hate Teamfight Tactics. Yeah, the last update to Underlords was November 2020. Ugh, that hurts.
2020?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know why they stopped
been a minute.
updating it. They were like, all right, we're done now. What? And they never announced that we're done. It just is like, here's an update. And that was the last one. And everybody was like, what? But anyway. So yeah, I've been playing Tales and Tactics, both on and off stream, and Hades 2, both on and off stream. Oh my god, I can play games off stream, you guys.
Nice.
It's a magical thing,
You're
isn't
allowed to do that?
No. What was that, Dirk?
I said it's a magical thing, isn't it?
It is.
You mentioned the last update for that being at 2020. You know that I am a connoisseur of mobile games. I will try one for a little while, and I've tried way more than I've stuck with. Right now, the list of ones that I still have going is 3 or so, and one of them I just kind of log on, get my bonus, see if there's an event going on, and then log off. There was a new game. It was called Goddess Order. I actually saw it advertised through a Dorkly skit. I was like, this looks all right. Downloaded it, free to play. It had gotcha, but it didn't seem terrible. You could actually use the characters you got for various, effects without having to sink money into it. I'm going along and I'm enjoying it. They didn't, and I got the game, so it premiered at the end of September, and I got the game early October. I wasn't like a day one. Sometimes with these games, if you don't find them right away, it feels like you're already too far behind. But I I got it. I was enjoying it. Sometimes, so I like auto battlers, like what Chewy's been talking about. I want to distinguish that from idle games. Idle games are where your characters are just uh, automatically, whether you're logged in or not, collecting resources. On the one hand, that sounds like, hey, great. I can collect things. The problem is that the way those games work is usually they don't have a level cap, or if they do, it's a stupid high amount, and they are basically, how do I say this? Because your characters are automatically getting resources for you all the time, whether you play or not, the amount of resources they are collecting, while it seems big, it's always nominal because what they really want you to do is buy the packages of stuff. Does that make sense? So it sounds attractive at first, but then the other thing I get tired of that is, again, I want to distinguish this from auto battlers. With an auto battler, like what Chewy's talking about, you still assemble your deck, you still assemble your units, and so you have you have a weight on the scale, so to speak. You still affect the outcome. With these, most of the time in combat, you're not making any decisions. You're just pumping up your characters a little bit ahead of time, and then maybe you know what skills they'll use or anything like that. But it feels very hands off, which I think that is the point for some people. But for me, at a certain point, I'm like, why am I even playing this game? The reason I'm distinguishing this actually required you to like maneuver your characters. You could dodge, you could activate skills, and while they would automatically do some things, it felt engaging. It felt like I was playing a game and not just here's an app where the numbers go up. So I log in earlier this week, I think on Tuesday, and it's like, hey, here's the notice about the next update. And by the way, yeah, the company's not doing well, so we're not going to be updating the game after this. And I'm like, of course,
Yep.
because I'm actually enjoying this one. And to be fair, they said in there, look, we're immediately disabling all monetization. And if you've purchased something from us recently, send us a reclaim fund and we'll or a reclaim ticket and we'll work with you on that. So even if you like didn't see the notice or whatever, if you went to go like buy something, you'd get an error message. I think because I'm free to play, I'm not sure, but at least they had the guts to be like, yeah, basically how it reads is the parent company has said we're not making enough money, and a lot of these mobile games just make hand over fist, and then when it doesn't do well anymore, they just stop supporting it. That's one of the reasons, and I realize that this is a bit of tangent for me. I enjoy
For
mobile
you,
games.
no.
And and sometimes I feel like a bit of a cheapskate when I don't actually pay for anything because I've realized the companies need money to exist. But it's so hard for me to get past the thought that at a certain point, this money that I may or may not have put in literally evaporates because the game just isn't supported anymore. Hopefully, they don't take it off the servers and maybe you can still play it, but a lot of them are just gone. And it's hard to justify spending money on that versus like, well, I bought this game for my Wii. We still have the Wii hooked up. Sam every now and then is like, I want to play Mario Kart. I'm like, cool. So versus the game that's no longer there. So I got off into a bit of a tangent. The too long do not read is, hey, I tried a game and it was fun and now it's going away and it makes me sad. The end.
Mm.
Hey Dirk, what's up? Chewy and I have been talking a lot. What's up with you? Have you tried a new game?
So I have not been able to play lots of games that I've wanted to play. Mostly it's the little games I can play here and there. So two games that I've had a chance to just sort of play here and there. First off is Minecraft.
I've heard of
Nerd.
that.
So they released an update like last month, and it was the Iron Golem update. So, or not Iron Golem, the Copper Golem updates, the Copper update. So copper is this mineral that they added some time ago that has kind of been useless. Like when you mine it, like the other stuff that you mine in the game, it gives you a ridiculous amount of the ore, and you can make blocks. And I mean, I used to make buildings purely out of the block, the iron, like the blocks, because there was nothing you could do with them. So I had buildings built out of it. Um, in the most recent update, they made it so that the copper stuff, you can actually make armor and weapons, and best of all, you can make golems out of it. And what's funny is these are little bitty golems that they come with a chest. So when you make the golem, it makes a copper chest. And what happens is if you put
Did Dirk just completely disappear?
I think so.
Oh,
He
that was
said the best thing you
weird.
can do is make.
items in the chest.
Oh,
Okay, hey Dirk, could you hear us
Um,
talking a second ago?
yes.
oh, okay.
No.
So so the best thing you can make is what?
Last
Hold
said
on
the
one
copper
second.
golem put him in the chest.
So the cool thing is like you put something in the copper chest, and the little copper golem pulls the item out and goes and looks at it, and he goes to any nearby chests, like regular chests, and he opens up the regular chest and goes, "Does this item look like something in this chest?" And if it does, he adds it to the chest. And if he doesn't, he goes to the next chest and says, "Does this look like something in this one?"
Wait, so he auto
No.
sorts your stuff?
He does it for the nearest 10 chests.
Holy crap.
So, yes. And if you're like, "Well, I don't like having a single chest. I like having a double chest." Well, you just put two copper blocks next to each other and you get two copper golems. That's whole goal is to go through this chest and go, "All right, I have this thing. Does it look like something in this other chest?" And yes, they sort stuff for you. Now they don't go like everywhere. They just do it within a certain area around their home chest. But yes, they will go through and they will auto sort stuff for you.
That's neat.
hmm So, and then I recently converted Chelsea. Because she had her surgeries, she's had to like be in bed rest for a little bit, and so she got back into playing Minecraft on the Xbox One we've got, and she was doing some of this like, do you have anything that glows? Because my thing that I did previously was I got into the trial chambers, And the trial chamber is some random thing they decided to add to the game. I have no idea why they decided to add it, except for those people who get together on a server together. They form a big party with each other with multiplayer friends. And they decided, you know what? Let's go through a dungeon together. And so they made this thing called a trial chamber, which is exactly that. It's just challenge dungeon that you get to do with friends. Except I don't like things trying to blow me up, so I have it on peaceful mode. So when I find a trial chamber, I like to disassemble it. Because almost everything in the trial chamber is amazing. Because it has bone meal to make you grow crops. It has glowy copper blocks, which I love because I don't like places being super dark, like the fields, the villages, and everything. And so you can take these copper lamps, these blocks, and you just put them in a field, like up in the sky or on the ground, and then you just turn them on with a switch, and they glow. Oh, Chelsea's come to be like,
He'd do that again.
say it again.
Does the internet just not like Chelsea?
Oh, she's not facing right into the microphone. So she came downstairs because I was talking about trial chambers, and she said she got all excited with me talking about them.
Kinky.
That's why I was telling them. So yes, I have converted her to the amazingness of trial chambers, not because of the challenge they have. It's because of all the amazing loot you can get from them. So yeah. So I've been playing that in the little bit of time, and then the other thing I've been playing is Pokemon Sword. So going old, like two game ages back. So I can't remember what it is. Like there's numbered ages for it. There's just like the first gen, second gen. Oh, it's generations. There you go. That's what I was looking for. So going back to Gen 8 is like the very first Switch game. Switch Pokemon was Pokemon Sword and Shield, and I'm playing Sword because I've already done tons of stuff in Shield and I just wanted to get the other Pokemon in Sword. And so I went back and played it. I have completely beat it and the DLC, and I'm just sort of running through collecting stuff and all that good stuff. So I've gotten several Pokemon that I really wanted, like Solgaleo, which is this giant lion thing from a previous generation of the game, but he's like one of the big creatures on the cover. And yep, I won't bore you guys with all the other fun stuff that I've been collecting, but I went and beat the game, and so I've just sort of been going and leveling up and just grinding out the content of the game at this point, kind of like filling out the Pokédex. But yeah, it's just been I can
Cool.
pick up because it's on the Switch. I can pick it up and put it down whenever the situation requires it. So that's why I've been playing it. Although I'm very close to moving on to Gen 9 with the Paldea one. Those of you guys that have no idea what I'm talking about, it's okay. It's the Violet and Sapphire is the most recent generation, and I'm about to move on to it.
It's not the most recent anymore.
Yeah, and well, generation-wise, it is because the most recent game is ZA, and that is a Legends series.
Okay.
So it's a tangential series.
Oh, so
Like you
it's
still do
Brian.
Pokemon, everything, but the ZA series. Normally in Pokemon, you have your starter and you run around and then you just sort of fight and collect, and it's usually turn-based. Well, in Arceus and this one, it's less turn-based and more like you actively are going and doing stuff. So, like, you can actually sneak up on Pokemon and catch them in Pokeballs. That's kind of how you do stuff. Or you can battle them, beat them up, and then catch them. But generally, the way you catch Pokemon is you sneak up and you like throw a Pokeball while they're not looking at you. So that's kind of how the legends are going, and it's a way for them to kind of try out new mechanics before they release the more recent generation. So the free environment where you just like walk up and do stuff and interact with Pokemon and just say, you know what, I don't want to do turn-based combat. I just want to sick my Pokemon on somebody else and let the Pokemon just fight it out with me without me doing any input. You're auto battling, as you said earlier. That was, I don't know, it was kind of introduced in Arceus, but it was definitely a mainstay in the more recent generation, because you could just say, go attack, and your Pokemon would just start wailing on other Pokemon around it. And it was a great way of just saying, I don't want to fight low-level stuff, just go and beat some stuff up. And you didn't get as much experience, but you still got experience from the battles.
I see.
So yeah, it's kind of like the legends are kind of their test bed to see what stuff turns out well, and if people really enjoy it, or if it crashes and burns horribly. Well, it's only showed up in this one game. You're good. Walk it off. You'll be good.
As someone who's never played a Pokemon game in my life, I'm consistently amazed at how they have managed to. They do like EA does with Madden. They release the same game every so often with an updated roster. And when they try something different, like half the community goes, this game sucks. And how come we can't play with all the rosters we've ever had before?
Yeah. How dare you?
And I'm like, bruh,
well,
there's like 8 million Pokemon now. I want them all in the game, in every game all the time.
You ever play, what was it for the 64, Pokemon Coliseum?
Nope.
And the whole... You would like actually, it was a N64 game, but you would actually upload the data from your individual
every
games
game you had. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, like, it doesn't matter. There's always going to be a stink raised up about it. But the most stink that's been raised about ZA is the area is kind of small that everything's happening in. With this is the first Pokemon game that's been on the Switch too, and there's a stink being raised up about, with a more powerful Switch, why is the area still so small? And also some, world interface problems where you say, attack that Pokemon, and the game says, oh, the Pokemon is X distance away, but when it actually goes to that spot, you find out that, oh, the Pokemon is actually on the other side of like a ramp. But the game thought it was on the ramp, but really it wasn't. And so the game has this problem, oh, you want me to go here, right? Even though that's not where you told it to go. Stuff just sort of not interacting with the environment correctly. So like immersion breaking things, like Pokemon that are walking through buildings. Like when you turn a camera, like the camera goes through buildings, and as you're just kind of looking at like clipped breaking through buildings and stuff like stuff like that is what you're seeing in the game, which that's a staple of the Pokemon series recently, is that they put all this time into these features and the roster and the graphics and being able to go freely from area to area and such and so on, but they don't iron out any of the bugs that are happening.
Like Caterpie? Oh.
Metapod?
Not quite those kind of bugs.
Are you saying Game Freak is turning into Bethesda?
As long as
Yeah,
they don't
except
turn
that
into
the
EA
difference
games.
is there's no community that fixes it.
Ah.
There's just a community that says, why can't you guys do this right? Even though they make as much money as any franchise in Nintendo, and Nintendo spends, however much time, like they'll delay a game an entire year purely to iron out bugs. And Game Freak, for a company that gets paid, is on par with the rest of Nintendo, either doesn't have the time to do it, or Nintendo just doesn't care for them to iron out all the bugs.
I honestly really like Chewie's analogy with Madden. I think
Ow. Yeah, I mean, I just came up with that right then too. Like, they literally just release the same game every year with a few tweaks here and there, and sometimes they update the roster, and yeah. I'm sure you could say that about most game series, especially long-running ones. Like, I don't understand Monster Hunter at all, but it's Capcom's biggest thing right now, so whatever.
Well, that reminds me that Nintendo recently lost the whole Pokemon thing in court with regards to Pal World. With you're throwing something that catches a creature and such and so forth is not unique. Apparently, that has been a staple of Monster Hunter in some way, and they're like, yeah, that definitely is. You definitely didn't have a problem with that. You just have this problem with Pal World.
I mean, Pal World was Pokemon at home, and we'll give them guns. Like, what
and
the
also
design
works
for
out all the
Pokemon
bugs.
at home. It was a drastically different game.
All the glitches.
Like
So
Pal
in some
World,
way, it's actually better.
Pal World making stupid amounts of money is super frustrating because it was a crappy knockoff. Someone had the idea, hey, what if we give Pokemon guns? And they copied Pokemon's homework but changed it a little and then put them in a game with guns. And everyone was like, oh, that's so funny, I'm gonna buy it. Like, no, don't encourage that sort of crap.
I mean, it worked for 50 Shades of Grey. So why not?
Let's not get into the weird abusive relationship that espouses. Anyway.
I would make a joke about 50 Shades of Grey, but I've neither seen the movies nor read the books, so...
I mean, you can still joke about it. It's fine.
I know, I just... Random joke about, how sexy Chewie is.
Yeah, I am.
Except it's not really a joke, so...
So yeah, the other thing I've been doing is playing Hades 2, just to go get an actual conversation going again. I finished it. Well, I rolled credits on it, and I'm continuing the story because rolling the credits in a Hades game, as I explained in a previous episode, is just the beginning.
Like death.
And I'm unlocking stuff and leveling stuff up and proceeding with individual character storylines and whatnot. Last time I bumped into Echo, Narcissus was there, and I was like, oh. So, don't know what's gonna happen there. But yeah, I've really been enjoying it. I've actually been playing it off stream, as I said before, which is crazy for me. I think all of the Hades 1 I played was on stream. But I think because it's new, the other people that are playing it don't want to come to the stream because they don't want to spoil stuff. So that's obnoxious. But I have been well, the obnoxious bit is that for a lot of my Hades streams, the audience is like a person, but that's okay. I wouldn't go hang out with anyone else on stream that was playing it if I hadn't yet either. But I'm still digging it. On my next stream, I'm going to okay, so there's a thing you can turn on that adds hard mode to each boss fight, right? It's called the Vow of Rivals.
Hard mode. Okay.
So your first, So your first fight when you go the underworld route is the headmistress, right? Hecate. The witch of the crossroads. And she's there essentially to give you a final test before you actually leave the crossroads and head to the underworld proper. And so she's your first boss. And, you know, she does her thing, whatever. Hard mode of Hecate caught me way off guard because I hadn't done it before. And suddenly, so like in normal mode, she's there, and then sometimes she'll split into 3, but only one of them is real, but they can all hurt you. And she'll fire a thing at you that turns you into a sheep and whatnot, you know, standard boss fight. In hard mode, like, she's got 2 or 3, I don't know, it's always so frantic I can't keep track, illusions that are always there and always firing at you. And she has bigger moves that hurt you more and go brrr, and yeah, when she fires the thing at you that turns you into a sheep, you can dodge it. If you dodge, you turn and dodge through it. But you have to dodge through it like, I think 4 times, or else you're a sheep. In hard mode, after you dodge through it once or twice, it splits into 3. And so trying to dodge it it's not impossible, but it might as well be sometimes, because you've also got her and her 3 illusions all shooting at you and everything else that's going on, and it's just like, no! And every boss ramps up like that in hard mode. Weirdly, I've been able to take out the round 2 boss fights each way, because, you know, there's 2 paths, there's up and down. I've been able to work through both of the round 2, the second boss, hard mode, on the first try, both times. I was like, oh, that was cool. And then I've only done one of there's 4 bosses in each direction. I've only done the underworld version of hard mode, and that was a piece of piss. Like, that wasn't even hard. It's the same boss as before. It's just now there's some lava. I'm like, all right, sure, I guess. Also, I had a build by the time I got there that was so insane that his health bar just melted. So, you know, I'm sure if I get there with a slightly weaker build, I'll be like, no, but I haven't done it again yet. And like, I took a weapon that was not one of my best, so I didn't turn on the 3rd round of the Vow of Rivals to go up. And then I had the most insane build ever, and I was kicking myself for not taking the Vow of Rivals so I could see what the hard mode on that boss was like. Because by the time I got to the final boss, it was like, phase 1 done. Oh, okay, yeah, and you're dead. Wow, that was okay, huh? In case you can't tell, I really love this game. Like, it is.
I think I picked up on that.
It is just as good as the first one, if not better. It's the same idea, but like the first game was more about. The first game, the combat was essentially just about mobility, and, you know, anytime anyone would be like, Chewie, how do I get better at Hades? I'm like, dash more. You are not dashing enough. I dash all the time. No, dash even more. If you stop, you better have a damn good reason for stopping. Dash more. Whereas in Hades 2, boss fights especially, it seems to be more about positioning. Like, bosses, they do... Dirk, you've played MMOs. Brian, I don't remember if you've ever messed with an MMO or not.
EverQuest, the grandfather.
Oh, wow. So, raid bosses. They give you the little circles on the ground or the little indicators on the ground to tell you whether or not you should still be standing there in a second. And that's how the bosses are in Hades 2. Like, the first time I got to the second phase of the final boss in the underworld, well, it's Kronos. You learn that Kronos is your enemy. The first time I got to the second phase of Kronos, I died immediately. And it's because he does this big attack where he has one little circle on the ground where it's safe to stand. And I saw the circle on the ground and I went, oh, I'm not going to stand in that. That's where murder's going to happen. No, that's the one place murder doesn't happen. I went, oh, I'm stupid.
You got it backward. You are probably not the only person that's ever done that.
But it was brutal because it does, like, I think the damage number that pops up is 999, and like on insane runs where I have had truly stupid amounts of health, it started with a 4. So it's an instant kill. Or if you have armor, it's an instant break your armor. But I didn't know that at the time, and I didn't have armor, so it didn't matter. But several of the bosses have moves like that where you learn, oh, I need to not be here. I need to be over there. Or, oh, I need to not be over there. I need to be here. And because all of your moves, so you've got your attack, your special, and your cast. In the first game, attack was attack, special was another kind of attack most of the time, and cast was a projectile. But in this game, you've got your attack, your special, and your cast. The cast is now a circle that you place on the ground, and enemies who venture into it get caught. So it helps with the positioning thing. But also your attack, your special, and your cast all have charge moves. They're called Omega moves, where you have to hold down the button for a variable amount of time, depending on which weapon you're using and whatnot, to unleash a different kind of attack. So like the skull, for instance, you have a certain number of skull shells that you can fire, and then you either go get them or you hit special, and the special is a dash forward that does damage that recollects all the shells on the screen. So you get into the rhythm of, attack, 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 special, attack, 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 special. And if you hold down the attack, you get a circle on the ground that you can aim, and when you let go, one of your skull shells goes up and then crashes down into a big explosion that covers that circle. And you're instead of a quick dash forward to recollect your shells, if you hold down your special, it's a bigger dash forward that launches projectiles laterally. So it's a lot more deliberate. Like you have to pay more attention to what you're doing. Like with Hades 1, most of the time it was just figuring out when to bother using an attack or a special. But now you're attack and special and omega attack and omega special, and then there's your cast. Don't forget the cast. Cast is super important. I did an entire first run without knowing what the cast did, because I'm like, oh, it puts a circle in the ground. Do I do more damage when I'm in it? No. Does it hurt enemies? No. I don't know what the hell this does. And then I died. It turns out, oh, it stops enemies. Oh. But yeah, everybody is on the internet is ranting about how great Hades 2 is, and yeah. If you haven't played it yet and you liked 1, you should absolutely play it. It's so good. Death to Kronos. I'm also learning about aspects of Greek mythology I didn't know about. So that's fun.
You mentioned that there were a lot of things in the original Hades you thought were very lore accurate to mythology, as opposed to like the Disney-fied version or whatever, you know?
Yeah. Like I've bumped into Heracles a few times. And he's, big and strong and seems to have a chip on his shoulder about the gods and is like, stay, you should. And everybody keeps warning me, you should probably stay away from him. I'm like, why? In case he goes mad and kills everyone standing around him? Again? Because this isn't Disney Hercules. This is Heracles, who Hera caused to go mad and murder his family.
Yep. Murdered his
least
wife
once.
Megara, which is ironic from the Disney version because she's the love interest. And so that's why he had to do the 12 labors plus the bonus 13th to repent.
Good thing that they didn't make a Hercules 2.
Yeah. Oops, I killed everybody. And Phil, voiced by Danny DeVito, was like, why'd you do that?
That's Phil's boy. Covered in blood.
Covered in blood. And then they'd have to animate Hercules wrestling the Queen of the Amazons.
Hot. Sorry, what? I got caught up visualizing that.
Olive oil.
Weirdly, in my head, it was the Queen of the Amazons from Wonder Woman, the movie. So
It was a good movie. I didn't see the sequel.
I didn't either. Why can't I remember who played? What?
It was Gal Gadot that played Diana Troy, Wonder Woman, but I don't know everybody that played everybody else.
Connie Nielsen. There we go. I'm like, I can see her, but I can't think of her name. That's because I didn't know her name. Oh.
That would be an issue now, wouldn't
That
it?
is a good reason, yeah. I will be damned. She was in
Funny
1
how
hour.
that
You don't
photo.
remember that thing that you never knew in the first place.
How dare I? Oh well. I know there's stuff that I still haven't bumped into. Like in the first game, the person that was training Zagreus was Achilles, who Hades was like, this is the greatest warrior the mortal realm has ever known, so of course I'm going to get him to train my son. And then in this game, it's all about tactics and how to outwit Kronos. So who's the greatest tactician in Greek mythology?
Odysseus.
Yup. So
Ironically,
Odysseus is hanging out in camp.
yeah.
And I bumped into
Ironically,
Circe.
they knew each other. Yeah. What's that?
I bumped into Circe at one point, and then, after you bump into Circe a few times, somehow Odysseus comes up, and then later, when you talk to Odysseus, Melinoe will be like, "What happened with you and Circe?" And he's like, stuff happens. So I'm pretty sure the next time I go back to Circe, there will be more conversation about that, and I love that aspect of things. Like, it doesn't matter, which is what I keep saying is one of the great things about Hades 1 and 2. It doesn't matter if you're winning or not, because you're always progressing, because, like, story progress doesn't happen until you die and get back to camp anyway. So, whether you complete the main story or not, it doesn't matter, because eventually you will. But in the meantime, you're unlocking new character interactions and learning things and this and that and the other, and it's really nice. Like I said, Narcissus is a random person you can bump into in the second level, staring at his reflection, of course. And then in the third level of the underworld, you'll find Echo. And eventually...
I'm sorry, say that again?
I hate you.
Sorry, keep going.
And it's trippy. Like I'm learning to speak Echo, because she can only repeat what you say.
Hmm.
But the voice actress, the writing, and the voice actress are so good that like I can tell how she's feeling by the way she repeats things. It's crazy.
That's really good voice acting. I don't know how some people do that. I don't. I can barely control my own voice, let alone make, you know, other people's sounds. Other people's sounds.
Yeah. But like and for you especially, like I everyone can always tell when you're acting.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, you
your
should hear me
delivery
when I'm
is so far from natural that it's actually funny.
you you should hear me during D&D. I'm sure Dirk could tell you stories.
Well, that's DMing though. Like that's different. But like when we're doing an April Fool's episode, and I'm like, all right, here, I want you to say this bit, and then react naturally, and Brian's like, what? I'm like, Brian, Jesus.
Yeah.
It's pretty great. Brian's like, I can't believe it. He's like the horse from Ren and Stimpy. Who's obviously a paid actor and is trying desperately to act natural and failing miserably. Excuse me, Mr. Horse.
At least you did not compare me to Mr. Ed. So,
Can we put peanut butter on your gums?
beats the alternative. I've read that Penny Arcade.
Oh my god. All right, well, enough of that. What do we... what do we... Oh my god. See, when you said beats the alternative, I was thinking of a different place to put the peanut butter. And I'm like, Brian, but apparently that's not what you meant. So...
I'm just going to drop this in the Discord. Dude,
Excuse
first
me.
rule, no dying.
Oh, man. I laughed too hard, and now I'm dead. I'm like the weasels from
From
Roger Rabbit.
yes, thank you.
Whew.
So,
What are we doing now?
I wanted to talk about Lorcana, which I did that.
Yeah,
And
you did.
then we talked about other new games that we've been trying. And I'm dying. No, I've had this cold thing. We ended up not recording last week due to a variety of things, and I woke up and my throat felt like gravel. And over the weekend, like I would talk to people and they're like, "Are you okay?" Like on the phone, some of my clients on Friday were like, "Mr. Baker, is that you?" And I'm like, "Yes." And they're like, I literally went to court on Friday and the DA was like, "You need to leave." And I'm like, this will take 5 minutes. And she's like, "I'll get someone to stand in for you. You can go now." So I was like, "Thanks." So I'm feeling way better. And this is just the little itty bitty persistent cough. And I say that, but like twice a day, I go into almost like a dry heaving sort of thing. And I feel like, law. So anytime this wants to be done would be great. I'm trying to think of anything else, and I'm not touching politics with a 10-foot pole.
Oh
We don't
god,
have a
yeah.
functioning
Let's not
government
if we
right
can help
now.
it.
So, yeah, yeah. Um,
Every day it's more depressing. And stupider. It's stupider and more depressing.
yeah. Sam's doing well. She's been, she is still up late some nights, no all-nighters. She had two projects in two different courses, one project per course, not two in each one. Geez, due on Wednesday, and we knew it was coming. She worked on it over the weekend, and then on Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, she was up until 2, so that was rough. and I was still getting over the cold thing. So at 2:30 I went to bed, and I lay there coughing. So I actually got to sleep at like 4 to wake up at 5. That was amazing. That's why I said that I honestly felt okay to record tonight because I actually got sleep. But otherwise, Sam's doing well. Come on, I always have something to talk about. Dirk, what do you want to talk about?
Uh, the only thing that comes to mind is the random shenanigans of some of the avatar cards that have come out.
I
We'll
figure
do a
we
whole episode on
probably,
that.
yeah,
How's that?
yeah.
We'll talk about that later if we decide to go into that. But
I have not actually looked at any of them. I'm gonna kind of go in fresh. I have one question, and I don't want to get into the cards, but is there a cactus juice card?
sure, heck if
If
I
so,
know.
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, all right. Then
There
we'll
is a
find that
card
out.
called "That's Rough, Buddy." So,
There is.
like, we're done here. Like, pack it up. We're done.
Yeah.
Like, well, there's no need to keep going. They've done it. Mission accomplished.
Um, it's been. I will say that it's been a lot of. I don't say fun, but one thing I did not get to talk about is swim season started last week.
What did?
Swim season.
Oh, swim season. Brian was coughing, so I
Are,
couldn't hear you.
are you bikini ready, Dirk?
No, but we've that was part of last week was having the coaches meeting to say, hey, here's winter season starting. Make sure you guys get your physicals in and blah blah blah. And we started practices, and Trevor officially started practice on Tuesday. No, we were out Tuesday, so Wednesday. So yesterday and today are his practices, and he is getting he. I'm finally getting the chance to like see him swim, and he is very rusty in his swimming. So he, like 2 years ago, went through the local like swimming classes and everything. It's called the Sportsplex, where they go and they teach swimming and whatnot. And when he got done with his swimming class, they're like, yeah, he's actually knows all the strokes. He's actually probably could start the swim club, and like the competitive swimming and everything. There's like he's got a lot of like fine tweaking is what needs to be done. I didn't get to see how he did and everything, but I was like, oh, I mean, he's got a good foundation down. It's just, a lot of this. And I think either he's forgotten some of it, or when they were saying he just needs some tweaking, they meant he, he's going to need someone to go in and be like, yeah, you're doing this, you need to do this. Like with a bunch of what he's got going on, but he's starting it, and he says he's been very worn out after each practice. Practice only lasts an hour, but it's a lot. It's a full body workout.
I was gonna say
For
swimming
them.
is exhausting.
Yeah, well, part of what they did today is they were doing 1 minute of treading water just with their feet. Hands had to be in the air,
Oh,
and they did that twice. And then at the end of it, of the second one, I was like, all right, swim to a wall, and it can't be the front wall. It has to be one end of the pool or the other. So they're in the middle of the pool, so they had to swim, a little bit to get to the other end. So not only are your feet legs tired, but now you're like, okay, now I'm just going to pull with my arms, and so your arms are going to be tired. And we were working on breaststroke this morning. But that's the other thing, is that means I've been getting up earlier than I normally am, about an hour earlier. So my alarm clock goes off at 4:45 in the morning. And so that's when I get up.
buh.
So it adds to the fun.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
But Trevor has had a very full but enjoyable high school career so far. He's been done marching band, he's doing swim now, and he's on the robotics team. He loves doing the robotic stuff. He's doing the programming part of everything. So he's learning whatever. It's not Java or anything like that, but it's like the coding portion of telling the robot what to do. And so they're teaching him that sort of stuff. And then in the spring, he wants to do tennis. So we've actually got several track people on the team, and the track people come out because they do a lot of we do a lot of breathing. Like you have to practice your breathing and everything so you don't drown. And so the track people like coming out.
I love the qualification. Like, this is exactly why he needs to learn this.
Oh my
Dorks,
god.
I love you. I love you, but I gave Sam a key the other day so she could open a door.
What's funny is that I was going to say that's important because you could drown as a joke, and Dirk threw it in as a qualifier. Matter of fact.
But they let the
That's
track
rough,
people
buddy.
like coming out because it helps them build up their stamina, their practice their breathing regularly and everything. So it's we've had several come out. We had my first year when I was helping out with it. We actually had several lacrosse players come out, and even the lacrosse coach told them, it was like, I really would like them to keep doing swim because it keeps them in shape. So when they come out for lacrosse, which is a spring sport, they're already like they're already built up and they have the endurance. They're just toned and ready for the lacrosse season. So, but they usually practice year round. I've seen them over the summer out at the sportsplex, and they're like out there practicing in the summer. I've seen them practice in the fall. So I don't know what's going on, but I mean those guys really do just year-round practice. So I think us getting them for one swim season was a near miracle. So I don't know if that'll ever happen again.
I only dog paddle.
But yeah, that's been the current events in our neighborhood. I am officially the assistant coach this year. So I can't just sort of blow off and be like, I'm not going to go to that. I actually have had to do the fundraising, like help out with the fundraising stuff so far. Um, so yeah, not something I'm used to, but I get to participate in it now.
Nice.
I just realized I actually do have a story, but I didn't want to interrupt Dirk.
Go ahead.
Since when?
I have your permission. Since now, I guess. So, it was just more of we had an interesting experience. I may have mentioned that Carrie and I bought season tickets to the Tanger Center, and that includes most of their shows, not all of them. Something like the 20-sided tavern that was extra. We definitely did that. But so this last Friday, which was Halloween, we actually were not at home for Halloween. Mom came over, and so Mom's neighborhood is like all of 5 houses, and it's all people kind of retired age, so they don't have kids. It's very secluded, and I think it works for them. But moms, always enjoy doing that sort of stuff. When we mentioned, hey, we've got tickets to this show, and the show was The Wiz, which I'd always heard about, I've never seen, and it was fantastic. Loved it. The music was amazing. The performers, every single performer, the lungs on those people were amazing. But when we told Mom, hey, would you mind, just we could drop Sam off? She's like, sure. And then she's like, wait a minute, that's Halloween. I'm like, yeah, I know. And she's like, I mean, she went on eBay and bought like the world's largest candy supply. And she's like, I'm gonna come over to your place and hand it out. I'm like, if you want to do that, that's fine. So she did that, had a great time. She is prone to migraines, and Whereas mom's neighborhood is small, my neighborhood is not huge, but it's pretty decent size, and we get like I am positive that because a lot of people in our neighborhood are generous, other families will bust ours. So mom was basically out of candy by the end of the world's largest candy supply by the end of the night, but it was so much getting up, getting down that it really triggered her migraine. But she said she had a fantastic time. So we saw the Wiz. It was amazing. Mom got to hand out candy, which kind of took her back a little bit. And Carrie and I had an experience that we had never had before. After the show, we went back to the parking deck across the street.
So wait a minute,
And
You mean to tell me that none of that long ass thing was the story?
no,
Jesus
it was
Christ,
the
Brian, we have got to get you an editor.
it's a just chatting. Now, if if we had something we were trying to build up to, yes, this would be a whole lot. But here we go. Get to the parking deck. Of course, there's a couple different parking decks around downtown, but most of the people parked in this one. It's the one for the Marriott, and they do accept the parking voucher for the show. And we're almost able to make it onto the elevator. And we said, you know what? It looked very full. We'll wait for the next one. So we were first in line for the next one. Comes back down. We get on it. Like 10 more people get on, and the doors are about to close. And I'm like, this is really full. And a lady gets on, and I'm like, And then her boyfriend or husband or male date gets on, and I'm like, wow, we are crammed together. And I get people don't want to wait. But so the doors close, we start going up for maybe half a second, and then an alarm goes off, and it says, this elevator is no longer in service. We had pushed buttons for floors 2, 3, and 4, and every light, the lights do not die in the elevator, but every lit button turns off. And I'm like, okay, well, we start on the first floor. It's not that bad. I'm right next to the thing. There's a lady next to me, not Carrie, some other lady. Carrie's there too. And we are both trying to push the like door open. And we're like, that's not working. And meanwhile, there are two kids, maybe around 5 or so years old, and they are, I will say this, everyone in the elevator, nobody got mad, nobody blamed anybody, at least out loud. Immediately every parent was like, help the kids feel better. So props for that. But at one point, we hit the little alarm thing. That turns out to just be a buzzer. So then we pressed the telephone button, and it said, you're in the elevator at the Marriott.
Thanks.
Yeah. So because we live in the age we do, one gentleman was able to. He called the non-emergency line, and then he's talking to the lady. He's like, "Yeah, this may actually be an emergency. We're not in any danger, but we don't really want to be here." And so we were probably stuck in it for less than 15 minutes. Um, but and again, it was not the worst experience I'd ever had. When the firefighters took a while to open the door. It was when they really had to force through. It turned out we were maybe like we had to step down maybe about a foot or so. It was slightly elevated. Um, Carrie has kind of bad knees, so we didn't really want to walk up the 3 flights of stairs. And I offered to go. At that point, I offered to go, like have her wait downstairs. She's like, "No, I'll come up." But by the end of it, she was really in a lot of pain. So it was an interesting experience. I'd never gotten stuck in an elevator before. It happens to hundreds of people all the time. I don't have the statistics, but we joined that club, and truthfully, we made it out of it just fine. And the kids were okay. Everybody's good. But I got stuck in an elevator, and I survived. And all I got was this lousy T-shirt. I didn't get anything. So I I got to hold the hand of a very strong fireman when I got out. I made sure literally
Hot.
every other person got out first just to be safe. The firefighters were like, "You do need to get out of the thing because this is not balanced." So, could have been a lot worse.
Because two people couldn't just wait 2 minutes.
We talked about it on the way, and they weren't doing it on purpose. And actually, when we then drove, we went up to 3, and we were driving down. And I will say this, just in that span of time, by the time we got in our car and we were leaving, there was not a line to leave the parking deck. We When we saw the Beauty and the Beast show at the end of September, we got back to the car and we got in line, and it took probably 15 minutes to leave the parking deck just because everybody was leaving at the same time. This way we got to drive right out. But as we went down to the second floor, um she was waiting by the curb, and her male friend, whatever, was going to get the car. So I get that she probably was going to have a hard time with the stairs as well. But had they not gotten on, probably would have been okay. But at the end, everybody made it off all right. So, haha. You guys ever been stuck on an elevator?
Yep.
Like, really? Where was it?
Cruise ship. So we did a behind the scenes tour, and the person who was guiding was like, all right, let's go ahead and do the elevator. Well, there were like probably about between 15 and 20 of us in this group. And she was like, we can get as many on this elevator as we packed in probably about between 8 and 10 people onto the elevator. And I was one of those people who packed in, and I'm looking at this going, there are some big people in this elevator. I mean, it's kind of cramped. And I'm just going, I really hope that, we're going up. And we went up a little bit, and then, like, I don't remember if we went up or down, but the elevator stopped, and she did something that it reset it and slid the elevator down to the next lowest level, and it took probably about 5 to 10 minutes. And I think she must have called some of the crew member, like some of the support crew and everything, but the door opened, we were on a floor, and we got out, and we still had to go like one floor to where our final destination was. But yeah, that's happened to me, and it happened on a cruise ship.
Were you helped out by a big, strong fireman?
No, I was not helped
out
at all. Like I said, it settled at a floor, so we were able to like walk right off the elevator. But I think the crew maintenance people had to they had to tell the elevator to like set to a floor instead of in between a floor, so that way people could get off and they could look at and see what had broken and everything. But yeah, the tour person was very embarrassed about what it was, and we're like, it's okay. It happens to all of us. You wanted to get as many people, you wanted to keep everyone together and be like, we'll come back and get the other half. And they were like, no, we'll just meet you down. And so, it wasn't intended. It just happened to happen. And then I was like, well, I mean, I'm thinking in my head, well, at least I have a story of being stuck in an elevator.
I don't think I have an elevator story. If I do, it didn't stick. Sorry, I don't have a stuck in the elevator story.
That's quite all right.
We don't all have to have good stories about being stuck in an elevator.
Yeah, or in Brian's case, stories about being stuck in an elevator.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
I see what you did there.
Thank you.
And I can't really disagree. It was a bit long.
That's okay. Most of yours are. You don't seem to be able to filter out the unimportant bits.
It's true. And that's something that I've tried to work with Sam on with some of her storytelling. But
oh, you're trying to help her with that.
Like daughter, like father.
I know, right?
Yes. I mean, I'll own it. Yeah. Because she'll start telling a story. I'm like, "How's your day at school?" And she starts to tell me something, and then she goes off on like a little part, a bit of a tangent, and never finds her way back. And the whole time I'm just sitting there like waiting, and I'm like, "So this is what it feels like."
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
We're like, yes, that is very much the feeling. We still love you, though.
Mwah.
So my brother told me something interesting when I saw him this summer on our cruise that we did with him. He said that, and I haven't bothered to verify this, but I don't think he'd be wrong. He said that Interview with the Vampire has gotten a reboot as a television show, and he highly, highly recommended it to me.
Yeah, like years ago.
Oh, I thought it was more recent. Maybe it had a second season or something. But all I could think of was like
2022.
2022. All I could really think of was the last one had like every star. It had Christian Slater and Antonio Banderas and Brad Pitt and Tom Cruise in
Yeah.
like the same movie. And I'm
Wasn't
just
Kirsten Dunst in there, too?
yes, and didn't she win like an Oscar for it because she was utterly ridiculous at 9 years old or whatever? My point being, like, I don't know. It's not like you didn't have enough star power the last time. Like, what? How do you make that better? Or maybe you don't make it better. You just make it again. But he said it was really good, and I'm not trying not to take anything away from that. But it just kind of falls into the category of me for me of like, do we need to remake this?
Well, it's not like it's a remake of the movie. It's a TV show that goes into more of the stuff from the novel. Because it was a novel, you know.
Oh, I'm aware. I read it.
Mm-hmm.
A girl that I dated in high school was very much into it. If anybody thinks that the vampire craze started with Twilight, no, it
No,
vampires were
it
sexy
died with
long before
Twilight.
that.
And no, she did not win an Oscar.
She not?
No,
Wow.
she didn't even get nominated for an Oscar because she was not that great. She did win several other awards from various other things, but nothing as big as. Oh, she got a Golden Globe. There we go. No, she got nominated for a Golden Globe. There we go.
Okay. I thought she won something for. You
Yeah.
said that she wasn't that good, but for her age, I think she was pretty. Her performance was pretty outstanding.
Yeah, it's a shame she never actually got much better as an actress. She did win the MTV Movie Award, which, given the age that we were when it came out, is probably what you were thinking of.
That's highly likely.
Because I'm like, I know she won something that I would recognize. Ah, there it is. Brad Pitt also got Most Desirable Male. And Tom Cruise was all. And Christian Slater were all also nominated for it. Most Desirable Male at the MTV Movie Awards that year. That seems unfair.
Mm-hmm. Because that's all of them, isn't it?
Except for Banderas, yeah. And he was, I would argue, more desirable than all three of them.
I mean, that's pretty studded. So
Were the MTV Movie Awards racist in the 90s? No.
no. Hear my incredulous voice. No. Hollywood has never been racist.
No. And MTV, a channel specifically pointed at white teenagers. Certainly wasn't. Ow. Man, you remember TRL? God, I hated MTV around that point. And not long after that, they just stopped playing music entirely.
Yeah.
Yeah. MTV, yes, stopped playing music.
Well, that's okay. The History Channel stopped being about history. Basically, everything stopped being about what it was about, except for Animal Planet. But even that is mostly about people that do stuff with animals.
Like My Cat from Hell.
Is that an Animal Planet show?
Yes, it is.
Ah, okay.
He works with troubled cats. You probably could have figured that out on your own, but hey.
I could not have actually. I was thinking it was about a particularly awful cat.
I mean, he's a cat therapist sort of thing, and he works with families that are like, are we going to have to get rid of our cat because we can't handle him or her? And 99% of the time, it is they have all this excess energy. You need to play with them or exercise with them. They are not just there to be a toy. And not to sound insulting, some people get cats because they think they're low maintenance, but then they develop these behavioral issues, and the guy is like, they're bored, or they don't feel. The two things are they're either bored or they don't feel safe. So make them feel safe and engage them. Half an hour a day, an hour a day.
Yeah,
So
after Scott moved next door, because Scott used to live with me, and
yep.
one of the cats came with him, and then later a second cat came with him, which was not part of the initial deal. But anyway, one of the cats came with him, and after he moved next door, that cat became an asshole. And I don't like. She would regularly just crawl up into the cabinets in the kitchen and then just sit there and bat at the door so it would open and slam and open and slam and open and slam and open and slam. And every once in a while in the middle of the night, you'd hear something get pushed out of one of the cabinets and fall and break and, make everyone in the house crap. I was like, man, I'm glad she didn't do that till after she stopped living here.
Nice. I mean, not nice, but
And then when they broke up and she moved in with her new man, she got rid of the two cats that lived here because she only wanted to keep her favorite. And he was allergic. So she had to get rid of the cats. And I was like, oh, that's... I said words I can't say on this show.
That... I mean, I hope that means she, surrendered them?
She turned him into a...
like a shelter?
Shelter of some sort. I have no idea.
Not just, let him outside and... Yeah.
But it was so she could move in with her new boyfriend who was allergic, but not so allergic that she couldn't keep the one that she loved the most. I was like, oh my God.
It's like Sophie's Choice, but with cats.
Except it wasn't. Because she had a choice. And it was easy. Anyway. Now she's got two kids, so hopefully any new man won't be allergic to them.
One would hope.
Ow.
Sometimes when you say ow, for your elbow, I swear you're saying ow, like the patron.
Nah, it's just my idiot southern accent.
I get it, but I'm just saying how my silly brain... Yeah.
Jason Doan. Jason Cows. Casey.
Mike.
Bad at this game.
Well, that we know.
Hey, shut up. I got nothing. Should we just stop?
I think I'm okay
I seem to have
with
run
that.
out of things to talk about since current events aren't really a thing that we want to touch for my own safety, or not safety, mental health. I don't know about you guys, but
I'm honestly, I think I'm good um to call it here.
I try so
Same here.
hard to not pay attention to the horrible and or ridiculous crap going on in my country, but I can't get away from it. It's everywhere.
Would you say that you try so hard and get so far, but in the end it doesn't even matter?
I would, in fact, say that.
Aha.
So, what if I said, let's get down to business? What would you say?
I'd say we need to defeat the Huns.
That is exactly what you would say. A friend of mine posted something on Facebook a few days ago that was like, when you're in a work meeting and someone says, let's get down to business, and now all you want to do is defeat the Huns. And I'm like,
Mhm.
no, it's in my head now. And it's been in my head. That was like 5 days ago. Mulan isn't even one of my favorite Disney movies, but that song is, I think it was like engineered to be an earworm.
That you say that like that's a coincidence.
No, but I mean, that song specifically is the
Gotcha.
only one that is like still in my head after all these years. Like, there's not a song from Dumbo that I will randomly break into at the drop of a hat. As much as I love like Beauty and the Beast, there's no songs from Beauty and the Beast that I will just randomly burst out into after getting a one-line cue. There's probably something
Once
from Aladdin.
there was a song that I had the Alexa play the other day because it was so stuck in my head, and I had to just get it out there and also get it into Carrie and Sam's head. Now I'm trying to remember which one it was. It was a Disney song, but
Well, that's how you get rid of it, is you put it in someone else's head. Like, yeah,
yeah,
now you have to live with this parasite.
exactly. Why do you think I taught her all your bass?
That's true, yeah. Bass. Bass. I still found it funny that the reaction. I still find it funny that the reaction from Sam when I texted her about that was just all caps. Hey! What? Excuse me. Possums. Okay, let's not get into old internet earworms. Like the wave of babies. No? Okay. So, how about I open up Patreon and remind people you can go to patreon.com/themanapool and support what we do here. Also, follow me on BlueSky or Instagram, or, you know, that's pretty much it at this point. And join the Discord. There's a lot of fun that happens in the Discord. Plus, I live there, so, you know. It's a problem. But if you join the Discord at the mythic level, then I will call you out during the episode. Like so. Like so. Oh my god. Internet, what are you... You guys can hear me, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not my internet, it's Patreon. There we go. Like so. Al. That is AL, not my elbow popping. ALK Alters, Andrew Odie, Jake Jansons, Jason Doan, Jason Kaus, Casey, Kim Ho, Michael, Scuzzo, Team Hellas, Haru, and Violet Moon. Yeah. But I guess there's no need for final thoughts because this whole episode is final thoughts.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So, be sure to come back next week when we do something else. Ha ha!
Yes.
Woot
But-
It's
woot.
all coming together.
Oh yeah, but seriously, thank you all so very much for joining us. And I don't know, go practice breathing so you don't drown.
Don't get stuck on an elevator.
That too. Play Tales and Tactics.